Whereas the young boy who has just started a career is looking for a good job, he's having a good salary. Soon he has to get married. And once he's gotten married, he has to provide for his wife, for a household, for his family-in-law, for his whatever. Before he's 30, he's bald. Because nobody gave him time to grow into becoming a man. And these narratives, separate narratives that we build for women and men, is what is bringing our world into an unbalanced society. When men will understand that women being educated, women going to school, women having a career is not to challenge them, but rather to hold hands as partners and move forward together, so that the future can be balanced for both of them, that their children will not have to go through the same thing they went through. We are from a generation where maybe our parents didn't really understand. Any parent does what they want best for their children. I mean, even if your mother at some point says, you know what, that degree that you're doing, as you're taking that PhD like that, nobody will come and marry you. Imagine somebody will start talking to you, and then before he says one sentence, you've given 10 lines. What man will want to marry a woman like that? But if she sees you thriving and you're really happy, because at the end of the day, you need to be happy about what you're doing. You must not just do it because, okay, we are sitting here today and we say young women must be educated, young women must go out there and conquer the world and become giants, as Mr. Mosoke says. But we need to learn to know ourselves. Was my mother from a polygamous marriage? Did she say no? Because many of our mothers say, you know what, school is your best husband. They say it, but they don't tell you why. Okay? But they don't tell you why. Very good. And tomorrow, when you'll be in your own marital home, maybe you're going through some challenges, and she'll be like, yeah, you can't go anywhere, you know. Maybe you're scared of what people will say. We've been seeing cases of feminicide recently in Cameroon, and people are there for the sake of marriage, for the sake of being married, for the sake of that honor. You stay somewhere that's like a prison, because in this environment, again, I mean, a woman is nothing out of wedlock. Okay? So if we are able to break that to even roles, because I believe in equity, I don't believe in equality per se, because I believe men and women, the way they are built, they will never be the same. But if they hold hands as partners and knowing themselves, if I have a partner that enjoys cooking, why should I be struggling to prove in the kitchen that I am the woman, my food must taste better than yours? If you have a woman that is good at, I don't know, maybe graphic design, and people are like, nah, that's a man's job, why is she good at maths than the husband? We have couples today where the lady is a civil engineer and the man is, I don't know, he's a poet, for instance. Whereas when orienting children as they get to middle school, you send ladies to study literature and you send guys to do science. That's old story. So people should be able to learn to know themselves and also allow their kids to pick what they are comfortable. I mean, if you have a child that is interested in poetry, if you have a child that is interested in literature, if you have a child that is interested in languages, like what we are today, we are artists students, means that we are language professionals. Let them go, because you never know what is going to make them happy. There are many people out there who are making money, who are making a living, but they are not happy. They go home, they still feel empty. And I would say this is also an answer to what you asked me earlier, like, you keep going from this degree to that degree, from this training to that training. What are you looking for? For happiness. Because at the end of the day, or at the crux of the matter is really to be able to find your happiness, to find somebody that will understand you and that you will understand the person. Because I think the world is such a big place that it will be sad to just be a lonely, you know, like they call it a lone wolf, a lonely person, that at the end of the day you have no one to share what you went through during the day, and you have no partner to face the future with. So women, girls need to dream. Never stop yourself from dreaming. Never let anyone tell you your dream is too big. And it doesn't stop at the dream level, because when you start dreaming, it's a good thing. But wake up and start working for it. If they tell you there's this American girl, she's 14, she got into Harvard Law School and all that, you start believing in that dream, and then maybe when you want to get into the same school, you realize your skin complexion may be a disadvantage. And then you realize your gender may be a disadvantage. And then you realize maybe your continent, because you're from the third world, is a disadvantage. So what do? If the child, this is from my grandmother by the way, if the child from the US can allow himself to wake up at 7 a.m., you have to be up by 4. Because the effort they are putting in, you need to triple it in order to be at the same level with them. So a lot can be said, a lot can be done, but when people do it, when people achieve things, then they sit down and they're like, yeah, I did this. Even if today is just at the level of having an education or just allowing people to dream, at least it's still something, because it's like you're bringing a beam of hope, a beacon of whatever light is out there for any girl living in a village, not knowing what the future looks like. Maybe she's just looking at her mom and she sees her mom with 6 to 7 kids, farming and things like that. And then you come one day and you tell them, you can stand at that, UN stand, and you can be a secretary general or someone. She's like, oh, really? Me from this village? But we've seen stories around the world where girls from small towns who didn't even own TV station, just because they believe in one thing or they came across one book one day, went and conquered the world and came back home with beautiful story. Because it doesn't suffice to go out there. There is also the concept of giving back to your community. If I've learned something, what would I do? If you go out there and you meet somebody that's very nice, you get home and you share with your sister, or you say, hey, I saw this clothes today, you have to see, it's so beautiful and everything. So whenever I come across anything that looks good, I think sharing is what the world needs. Sharing with your kids, sharing with your relatives, sharing with your friends, sharing with your community, so that if you've gotten any I would say modicum of reach, let it be your community's reach.
All right, thank you. You said something. I didn't just want to cut it short because I know people are watching, and it's not good to cut a conversation like that. So it might really disrupt or maybe annoy some people out there. So I'm coming back and please for Mr. Musoke and Stephanie, these are main guests. So I just want to ask her this question. This is something you mentioned, that a man in this our generation of today, a man will go to school and is expected to take care of the lady. She's expected to take care of the siblings and everything. Meanwhile, a lady is supposed to just depend on the man, which is a mentality we are struggling to wipe away. Now, I believe that if everything we are doing in this world, we have the Bible that we look into. The man is the head of the house, and the woman is a support to that to the man. So, don't you think that no matter what, a man is supposed to provide for a woman, and the woman just needs to support the man?
Okay, wow. Let me start by saying I'm a Christian, and yeah, we all stand by the Bible, and I would like to say the Bible was written at a time where it relied on context. Okay, in those days, women didn't go out and work. Men went out to the field. If you see the parable of the vineyard, they say Jesus went out there. Well, the owner of the vineyard went out there and brought workers at 9, then at 12, then at no point it is mentioned that women were part of the workers, because their natural call was to care for the house, for the children, and for their husbands. And I need to say that even the ladies doing this should be paid, by the way, because it's a full-time job. Being at home and caring for the kids and thinking of what you have to eat for a whole week. Like, whenever you wake up, what are we eating today? I don't even know. It's a job. And if you ask even your partner or your husband to do that for a week, they'll tell you, I cannot do that. I beg. Take your own thing, because I'm not able. Just thinking, processing about what does this person like. If you go into a home, the favorite socks of the child, the mother knows. Their favorite place, their favorite plate in the house, their favorite dish, their favorite fork, the mother knows. And that is intellectual knowledge. We seem not to weigh it. So saying that the man must provide has nothing to do with a woman supporting. And if you look at the societal cause of today, nothing has really changed. between providing and supporting. Because at the end of the day, what do we see? Participation. If the man is paying rent, or maybe because this is usually what happens, he'll pay rent, pay bills, and maybe the lady, this is what I've seen our mothers do. They were always in charge of providing food for the family. Are they farming? Is the man hunting? He'll bring meat, she'll bring food that she has farmed. Are they business people? He's going to pay main bills, and she'll be the one bringing food at home every day. If you make the sum of all that food she has brought in a month, you'll see that she's actually bringing in money. And our society has made it in such a way that we keep seeing man as a provider, but women have always been providing, because men in general don't know where blinds are coming from in a home. They don't know where the quilts are coming from in the home. They don't know where decoration, they don't even know how much decoration costs. and they will think that because they gave, you know, maybe they packed the fridge and they paid school fees, that's it. But where does that mother today? I see a new phenomenon. Children going to school have a lunch bag. We didn't have that. You had bread, but today you put fruit, you put yogurt, you put everything. Children are so expensive to raise today. Oh. And when you look at that, the man will give maybe 10,000 at the beginning of the week, or depending on their class, 50,000. But it's up to that lady to look for maybe her sponge and get that she started, and put it here, and take that other budget and put it here without disturbing the man. She's still supporting him even though she's not going out. And when I say it is unfair for a young guy who is just starting his career to start providing when he's not ready, it's such a problem that I believe it's what is keeping Africa poor. Why? You see modern societies or rich families where, let's say they've inherited a fortune. When the child is starting his career, nobody is expecting him to pay anything. And that's how people build generational wealth. But if your son is just starting work, how do you expect him to save? If he's an entrepreneur, how do you expect him to save to make that company strong when 1 minute water has finished, electricity bill, the borehole has done this, we need to pay for this and that? If you keep taking, he's not going to have enough to keep it somewhere and make it big. So what do he do? He will depend on his salary, and every month before the boss has, you know, he's just already looking at his spend in a cranky manner because he has a child that is sick, he has this, and every day depends on him. That's why we remain poor from generation to generation, because we don't give time to people to grow. But if that guy who is a graduate or an engineer at 25, you give him 2 years, 5 years to become somebody, of course he has built something that's already strong, and he'll start taking whether dividends or, you know, profit from it and build wealth. He'll build a house, he'll build whatever. But we should give the youth in general, men and women, time to grow and mature.
I agree with you on that 100%, because that's the case. You see a child just graduated from school, is working for the first time, and they are already asking, the father is asking, the mother is asking, the siblings are asking, and really that is what is making African poor today. Mr. Masoke, they said a lot of things.
No, yes, but you know what you know, poverty is complex. That may be one of the causes of poverty. But the major cause of poverty is not familiar. That is, it doesn't so much arise from family. You know, the developed countries you see like this, they had a plan of development. And the problem which we have in Africa is that the part that is supposed to be played by the chief officers, that is the government, is not being done. That is where the problem of Africa is coming from. You know, other governments have created an enabled environment, have put institutions in place, have put structures in place that gives equal opportunities to everybody. So that if you wish to become the greatest engineer in Cameroon, you don't even need to bother that you are writing an entrance. There are enough institutions that you can just apply and you are absorbed and you study. But for example, 50,000 university high school graduates may wish to become medical doctors, but we have just 70 to 200 spaces. So the problem of poverty is mostly coming up from the fact that African leadership and governments have not used their resources to put sufficient infrastructure in place. So it brings a lot of limitations that a family is not supposed to wait only for that one son to go to school. A family, if the environment is strongly enabled, I made a statement here that if somebody does not want to become something, it is his fault. But I need to explain it better so that people should understand the context in which I made that statement. It's not just in the surface. That statement has issues attached to it. And this is one of it that I'm trying to unveil. That the environment has not favored the development of youths. So the only thing that is bringing the equal advantage and opportunity now is the World Wide Web, the internet, which has a pool of information. So let me just say one or two things again before I hand over the mic. So normally, even if you wish to go by the Bible does not say that boys should get married. The Bible says a man is somebody that is ready. That's when you get married. But we have a lot of boys today that are not ready because they are working. They think, no, to be ready for marriage is not the way we see young boys just do things anyhow today. You are not even ready. You have jumped in. I've seen a girl. I cannot waste my time and things like that. So if we follow things the way they are, a young man cannot just finish school. He has a job. It's his job to get married. No. Are you ready? Are you already a man? A man also has to do the mentality, the heart. Somebody who can stand and withstand pressure and other things, challenges. So marriage is not for, there are too many boys getting married, and that's why there's a lot of problem. Marriage is for men, and a man is that person that has also studied about relationships, studied about marriage, and you know what it entails. So let me just say that the issue of poverty is complex and has a lot of ramifications. It has a lot of causes that cause poverty. Getting married early is not a cause of poverty. Getting married early, but it's just an error that may put you into stress. Not that you are poor, because you have good income, so you are not a poor person. But it is the way that these resources will be managed. You have not studied wise not to get involved into something that you're not supposed to get involved into, and that's why parents should not push their boy children to get married early. And parents, if someone is coming to get married to your boy child, check that guy whether he's ready. Don't just think that's because of he has come. No, he should be ready. If not, your daughter will suffer. Because that boy has his own parents, his own cousins, his own brothers, and the rest. So is he already standing to take your daughter and add? So there are many things, and because people don't study a lot on issues of relationship, marriage, and so on, I have a book, which that book is not giving out to anybody, but that book is talking about the 18 months courtship procedures. I bought that book in South Africa. It's not found in Cameroon. That's a plain truth. So now, these are things that youth need to know. We will surely bring it on board here, something to talk about marriage, which is not the topic that I like to talk on board. But We have to talk on that. So what am I trying to say? I'm just trying to say that at times we do things the wrong way, and we still find ourselves to be the prey of the wrong things we have done. Poverty is as a consequence of many wrong things that people do, and that governments have done. Many errors that governments, especially in Africa, have committed, have made Africa now to be like in a deadlock situation, and it needs a lot of efforts, resources to take Africa out of this deadlock. It's complex. So, but the only advantage that youth have is the fact that the world we are living in a hyper information world today that have been facilitated by the internet, by the World Wide Web, which we can exploit. Despite this deadlock, that deadlock does not prevent you from access information. Are you seeing it? But boys, marriage is not for you. Marriage is for men. The Bible says a man. The Bible did not say a boy shall leave their house and go and get married to a woman. A girl can get married, but not a boy, because a girl is different from a boy. A man can get married to a young lady, but he should be a man. And this man here is not age. Please, it's not age. It's talking about the fact that you are mature in reasoning, in responsibility. You can even be 23 years and you are a man, because you are already able to handle and manage things, and even complex things. But somebody can still be at the age of 30 and he's still living in his father's house. That is not a man. That's not a man.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Musuke. I believe you've just mentioned the same thing that Winnie said, but that's not our topic. I don't want us to.
Yeah.
Winnie, this is why you are smiling, because I saw you shaking your head when you say girls can get married, but boys should not get married. You have a problem with that?
Well, I have a problem with the word girl. I would
Okay.
just say girls should be in school. Women can get married.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, Stephanie, you've been quiet for a while. I'm sorry for that.
It's okay.
All right. I watched a movie. And I saw this. They acted that movie in one of these suburbs, the villages, and all of that. So these girls, they didn't have the opportunities that those in maybe the urban area, those in the city have. And until one lady who left and came and picked one of these girls and empower that girl. I don't just want to say that she was empowered in one way or the other. If you look at our society today, most of our empowerment program, most of the seminars and everything is being done in the cities. Forgetting that we have children. I know you people said the environment, wherever you find yourself, you can empower yourself if you have the willpower. But let's be realistic. We have some areas that is so difficult. They don't even have electricity. They don't even have all the facilities that we are having. Now, what do you do to empower this? Do you go there? Because people hardly even go there. Because if we say women should emerge 100%, if let me say 50 or maybe 40 the emerges, and then 60 is still remaining, there is a problem. So what do you think can be done for everybody to have that? Even though she said we cannot have equal opportunity, but at least they should reach a certain level where we think that they are not marginalized.
Thank you for that question. It is quite relevant. And I'll start from what you just highlighted, that Winnie said. Life is not equal. We don't have equal opportunities, and we will never have equal opportunities. Even regionally, we don't have equal opportunities. So what I would say is that I will take the example of the way even our university has been organized. We will realize that universities in Cameroon, and I want to commend the government for that, they maximize the potential of environment. You will realize that we have a lot of programs focused on management, administration in the coastal regions, Douala, because there we have a pool of companies. In Yaoundé, you have many institutions that does international relations, political sciences, because that's where the politics is being done. That's where we have most of the headquarters of international organizations. And when we move to the West, you realize that in our universities, there's a lot that is being put to promote agricultural courses. So that can be something we can measure on. I want to say that if we want to say that we are marginalized or that we don't have equal opportunities, we will remain where we are because there are inequalities at all levels. The girl that is in the village may think she doesn't have the opportunities that the girl that is in the city has, but the one in the city still has limitations. She wished she would have been able to go abroad, to go to France, to attend this program in AI or to India. So there are inequalities everywhere, but we need to maximize the opportunities that we have. If you are in the village, I'm from Amebamileke. I grew up seeing my grandmother going to farm. You understand? So it might be you can start from that place, and if you are determined, you can develop that and become a very good sales. You sell what you